Hi, everybody. This is Julie McGrath from The Joy Source, reminding you that you are worthy of unlimited joy and love and all good things in your life. Thanks for joining me on this podcast today. After I just announced some big news at The Joy Source that for ladies, we are going to be doing a week-long retreat in Costa Rica in March 2021. Plenty of time to think about it, to save for it. I would love you ladies out there to join me. You can find all the details on my Instagram or my Facebook page, The Joy Source, or my website. So today we are going to talk about moments of reflection. And I have some questions for you. So I'm doing this podcast. It's summer. I'm hoping that you are able to take some time for yourself, whoever my listener is out there, time to sit in reflection. I know I've said this before in other podcasts that with our phones around us all the time, there's very little time and space for us to sit and ask ourselves some very basic questions. So I'm encouraging you at some point this summer, as you're maybe on vacation, or maybe you have a nice routine of going for a walk in the morning or sitting in nature, just to ditch that phone and check in with yourself. And here are some questions that I would love you to ask of yourself that you can even write down if you are in a place where you want to write a few down for later. But the first one is, as you sit and think, are you capable of more? Just asking yourself that. Am I capable of more in my life? Reassess your life and how you're doing right now. Are you reaching your full potential in all areas of your life? What part of your life are you holding back or you have yet to explore? So these are some deep questions that sometimes take a little bit to explore, to think about, but often can be a great catalyst for change for you. And thinking, am I reaching my full potential? Maybe in your job, maybe in your personal life. Are you capable of more? And is something holding you back? Is it fear? Is it lack of self-confidence, self-esteem? All those things that we can work on. And for a lot of us, we will say, well, ignorance is bliss. I don't know what I don't know, which is true. And it's hard to work on things you don't know. But oftentimes it's just because it's a place that you don't want to go because it might be too painful, or you might know you're holding back, but you don't want to go there just yet. And that's okay. But I encourage you to use your time this summer to think about how you're doing and what are you waiting for? Why are you holding back? And are you just settling for good enough? And I know I talk a lot about this, but we talk ourselves into good enough because going beyond that can be very hard and painful and scary and fearful. And all these things come up of, do I really deserve more? Do I really deserve to be ultimately happy in all areas of my life? So the answer is yes, you do. And stop talking yourself into, no, this is just fine. I'm just good where I am. And if you are good where you are, then that's great. If you're not, and you try to convince yourself, even though those whispers inside you might say, I'm capable of more. I know I deserve more. This isn't right. I don't feel great, but I'm going to convince myself that being here is okay. And we quickly go to squash it. Again, self-esteem plays a big part in that for people. Self-confidence. Could I do this on my own? Maybe I do need this person around. Maybe I do need this that is not really beneficial for me, but I'm going to settle for good enough. So is everything you do every day taking you closer to the life you want? Or is it taking you further away? So are your choices, are the choices that you choose daily in how you lead your life, whatever they may be, is it taking you closer to the life that you dream about, that you want, that you think about all the time? Or do they actually take you farther away from that? Do the people you spend the most time with push you forward in the direction of your dreams, in the direction of growth, or do they pull you back? Do they drain you? Or do they uplift you? And sometimes we don't even realize that till we stop hanging around with certain people and we look back and say, wow, that's how I felt when I was with them. Or maybe you just took a break from Facebook or spending time on the phone with certain people, and you realize that they drain you. That maybe it's a one-sided relationship where it's you giving all and pushing people. And when you take a step back, you can reassess that and say, I want to make sure I'm with people who uplift me, who inspire me, who leave me feeling good. As you sit in reflection, more questions for you. Am I satisfied? Am I appreciated in my life? Those people around me, the job I work at, do I feel appreciated? And am I satisfied with my life right now? And if I'm not, again, what's holding me back? And what about those goals that you set for yourself? Are they realistic or are they too far-fetched? And when I say too far-fetched, it just means some of us set these goals way outside of the realm of making it happen for us. And then we can kind of sit back and say, well, I wish, well, I wanted, but, it never really just worked out for me. So start with more realistic goals. Start with smaller goals. And I have a whole podcast on goals and dreams, so you can certainly check that one out as well. But just for this asking questions, do you set realistic goals for yourself? Goals that you can see happening for you. Do they push you out of your comfort zone? And do you like to be in that place? And the answer for a lot of people is, of course not. It's hard to get pushed out. But that's where we grow. That's all the stuff we want is on the other side of fear. So there has to be a place where we do feel uncomfortable, nervous, unsure. But it's worth those feelings than staying safe your whole life and settling for, this is just good enough. It's not great. I'm not really satisfied. I know there's more, but I'm just going to settle. And is there a lesson that keeps coming up for you? Do you keep getting hurt? Disappointed, frustrated, anger. Lessons keep coming at you until you learn them, which is a hard lesson. And I've learned that quite a few times in my life. If you don't learn the lesson, it keeps showing up and it wants you to pay attention. So think about that in your quiet times this summer. What are those lessons that come up for you that you haven't been willing to really sit and work on and think about? Now is a great time. What are you waiting for? It's a great time to learn those lessons, especially, again, if you get hurt or disappointed, frustrated, and you'll say, how did I end up back in this place? Whether it's a new relationship, whether it's a job, just repeating some cycles that you wish you could get out of. Got to learn those lessons, folks. As hard as they may be, that's when you tap into those supportive people around you, tap into those therapists, life coaches, mentors, good friends. Your life satisfaction, your joy level will reflect the work that you've put into yourself. And if you choose to sit back and make excuses and settle for good enough, your joy level reflects that. And this is my wish for you today. It's really short and sweet, but I wish you the courage to change when you need to in your life. Because isn't that really what it takes to change? And that's been my reflecting point lately. We need that courage to go against what we've been told maybe our whole lives by family, culturally, society might say it, spouses might say it, friends might say it. And we've been programmed into this way of life, which, you shouldn't be doing that, or I wouldn't go do that. I wouldn't take the risk. You're good right where you are. And it takes a lot of courage to take that risk. Takes a lot of courage within us to change, not knowing what the outcome might be. There's never these guarantees, which is why so many people won't do it. They want to guarantee that they won't be hurt, that they're going to make it, that it's going to work out. And there isn't the guarantee, but I want you to take the chance, the risk when you feel like it's worth it for you. We always are allowed to change our minds, to reset, to refocus your life as many times as you need to. And I encourage you to, even if it's daily. I'm going to make different choices today. I know I'm capable of more. I'm not sure in what areas, but I'm going to start thinking more about this because I want more from my life. And as we get older, our goals, you're allowed to shift. You're allowed to change those goals. And your needs and wants might be in a completely different direction than you originally thought. We might have this great picture in our head, which is hard for a lot of us, myself included, of what we think would be best for us. And we go in that direction. And then we realize as we go through, this wasn't the right direction for me. So I'm going to change directions. I'm not changing my goals. I'm just changing how I'm going to get there. And some of us might say, yeah, my goals are shifting right now. I've realized I no longer want that in my life. It no longer feels good for me and it no longer nourishes me. So I'm going to shift it a little bit. I'm going to press that reset button. And I did a podcast on reinventing yourself, which I love to talk about and hear about when people reinvent themselves at any age. They decide this is no longer working for me, so I am going to go in a completely different direction. I'm going to take the chance. And that is what I encourage. I want you to have long, quiet moments in reflection, asking yourself those deep questions. Am I reaching my full potential? Am I holding back at the expense of other people? Maybe I live with people who are constantly squashing my dreams, or I'm waiting because I'm too afraid to go on it by myself or go do something, so I'm waiting for other people. And I've always had a dream to do this, but I've been sitting on it year after year after year because I don't have the confidence, the self-esteem. I don't know if I'm worthy enough, and you are worthy. And I wish you that resilience, that work you need to do on yourself to get you to a great place in self-esteem to say, now I'm ready to launch. I want to reach my full potential. I don't want to go through my life being small, thinking small, especially at the expense of others, waiting for others to join us. And sometimes we have to go on it alone, which is really hard. And that's when you tap into your inner strength, your courage, your resilience. Again, that set of skills that keeps you moving forward, even in the hard times. And I wish you the courage to change in whatever area in your life that needs new direction. How do you know what area that is if you don't sit and think about it? Your phone is not going to tell you those things. It's going to tell you on Facebook what your friends are having for dinner, vacation pictures, baby pictures, all good. But it's not going to tell you about you. And that's where I encourage you, these moments of quiet reflection, sitting with your tea, your coffee, being open to what comes your way. When you ask, what am I waiting for? Is there more to me? Am I deserving of this? Am I ready? And what do I need to do to get ready for all the wonderful things I want in my life? Am I making those choices every day that are bringing me closer to the person I want to be, to the life that I want? Or do I continue to make choices every day that take me in the opposite direction, and then I sit and complain and get frustrated and angry about it? So I wish for you the courage to change, the moments of reflection, the quiet times, and always knowing within you, you are worthy of unlimited joy. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. And thank you so much for joining me. And I wish you unlimited joy.